not till April. Did you just get back from Florida again?
Important for him to run outside? Was that important for him to run outside after I spoke?
They wouldn't have given it to you.
Oh, because of the snow. You didn't get it. What's up? Sure.
I said, tell them you're in Florida, they
Yeah, no. What's that? No, don't tell them anything.
can't tell them that. You heard what happened to somebody, she had went to Florida in between and they wouldn't give her the second shot. They said, you're not supposed to go.
Yeah. So, Jerry,
Your mouth shut.
no.
Okay. We're ready. Okay, everybody's ready? Welcome, everybody, to the Town of Orangetown Town Board meeting of February 23rd, 2021. Town Clerk on a roll call.
Councilman Dennis Troy.
Present.
Councilman Tom Givney.
Here.
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Here.
Councilman Jerry Vitari.
Here.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Here, and I have instructions, I think, for Paul Valentine to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I get instructions from Esther.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we have one announcement. Tomorrow night, we're having a special town board meeting at 5 p.m. in town board. It's an executive session meeting. It's to conduct interviews for an open position that we have in the town. So the town board's going to be meeting to do the interviews. Under discussion items, we have interest in establishing a cable franchise committee. So I think we had one called the TV committee or something, right?
I think so, yeah. Well, no, I think it was also called cable, because
Oh.
the franchise for Verizon is coming due, I believe it's next year, but we've already started having communications with their councils, so.
So I think we had a couple people, when we had reached out about boards or committees, I think we had one or two people that put down for this committee. So I didn't know if there's any interest in creating or reestablishing it. I don't know, maybe with a different kind of purpose to work on the franchise agreement or whatever, but it's...
Right, last time, there was no infrastructure, so it's a little more, it was a little more detailed last time, but it is up for renewal, so.
Okay.
We do need to, negotiate with them.
Okay. So, like, I know Eileen Larkin has always expressed interest. She's not here tonight, but, and then we had somebody else express interest. So, I guess, Rob, if we can just get a little write-up about what they're doing and
What do you
like,
mean?
do they know what they're getting themselves into doing this thing? Because it's very technical from what I
Yeah.
remember.
Yes, I have, we have the previous agreement. They've provided us with a proposed renewal agreement. So I've already started looking at it and had some back and forth with them, but certainly this committee would.
Right, be kind of a liaison with them.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Anybody have any strong feelings either way? Hearing a no, I will move on. Before I get into workshop, I just want to say a couple things about the High Tour, what I'm going to call the hullabaloo on social media. So I just want to say a couple things, fill in some of the blanks. So just by way of background, last year, all 5 of the town supervisors were approached by several former volunteers and board members of High Tour who expressed concerns about the management at High Tour, ranging from commingling of funds, conflict of interests, and health and safety issues. These individuals provided extensive documentation to support the claims, including that High Tour was engaging in deception to enable them to intake all animals without regard to qualifications or cost. It was serious enough that all the supervisors felt that this should be referred to the district attorney's office. These complaints were coming on top of the municipal shelter inspection reports that came month after month for years with a rating of unsatisfactory. New York state law mandates that the town provide shelter services, not the county. If the state sought a penalty action, which it did in one of its letters, it threatened, it would be against the town, and any fines or penalties would be, again, a town expense that we would pay. I want to be clear, every one of the town supervisors shares these concerns, so much so that we discussed alternatives to High Tour, including Ramapo opening its own shelter. It was at this time that I reached out to the Hudson Valley Humane Society, another no-kill, not-for-profit shelter in Rockland County that our animal control officer has been advocating the town switch to for years. Representatives from the Hudson Valley Humane Society had been reaching out to Orangetown since before my tenure, as supervisor. They reached out, Chris Day, they originally had correspondence with Chris Day. I met with them, I toured the facility, and I was impressed with the professionalism of the staff and the cleanliness of the facility. I continue to receive support from former volunteers and board members who have reached out to me to thank me and tell me that this is long overdue. So let me just address two of the issues that became the hot ticket items on Facebook. The number of dogs taking a high tour. In my post, I reported the number of dogs taking a high tour by our animal control officers. While residents also take dogs there, High Tour does not provide the town with a record. There's a form known as the DL-18 for every stray dog brought into the shelter. The form contains the name and address of the person dropping off the animal and the location where the animal was found. I am told that this was standard practice at one point, but it is no longer. By providing these forms along with the record of all owner surrenders, the town can verify the numbers that High Tour is responding. Without records, the town has no way of knowing how to verify. We have not gotten those forms, so they can tell us any numbers they want. We have no way of verifying it. I have confirmed that we will be receiving these forms from the Humane Society. The other big ticket item became cats. So I'll preface this comment with the fact that some on this board have been known to call me a crazy cat lady. To start, the town has absolutely no legal obligation to provide shelter services for cats. In fact, the agreement with High Tour did not provide anything about cats until 2019, when a provision was added that they would accept feral cats and only to neuter and release them back to where they were found. The Hudson Valley Humane Society has assured the town in writing that they will assist us with feral cats and offered methods to help reduce the stray feline population in Orangetown. No one on this board, to be very clear, is looking to neglect our cat population, except maybe one person, or our responsibilities to the residents of Orangetown. So, this narrative out there that we're not taking care of the cats or whatever is false. We have it in writing from the Humane Society that they will assist us. I'm just going to close with this. This board, or at least for myself, supports High Tour and the need for a new shelter, but it will not sit by and allow the continued mismanagement to go unchallenged. As I said in a phone call with County Executive Ed Day last week, the town board entered an agreement with the Hudson Valley Humane Society for 1 year, but we sincerely hope that High Tour turns things around so that we are able to return in the future. That's my last comment on High Tour, because it's been going on for way too long. So I don't know if anybody has anything else they want to add, otherwise we will move on to our agenda items. Okay, so we're going to go into workshop. We have a lot of appointments tonight, so the first item is to reappoint members to the Orangetown Parks and Recreation Development Advisory Committee. And I think we do have 2 new members on that got added. The next one is reappoint Orangetown Shade Tree Commission. And I think we also have at least 1 new person on that. 2. Okay, so 2 more on that. We had a lot of people do outreach, so we checked with the chair people, and as long as they were okay with it, we added them to the committee. Reappoint the Substance Abuse Committee. And I don't know that there's anyone new on here. Allison, is there anyone new on this one, do you know? There's 2? Okay. Oh, yeah, I think they had reached out, okay. 6th is the Orangetown Project Review Committee. And there's 1 new person, right, on that one. Then we get to some reappointments of individuals on the town board. So we have to reappoint Shirley Goebel Christie as a member of the Orangetown Architecture and Community Assessment Board of Review. Then we have Sharon Burke as another reappointment to Akabor. And then we have Brian Atchison, again to Akabor. Then we move down to the Historic Areas Board. We have Margaret Rasso to the Historic Areas Board. To reappoint Margaret Rasso as the chairperson of the Historic Areas Board. Reappoint Jack O'Connor to the Housing Authority Board. We're appointing Dominic Filippone. He's a new member to the Orangetown Housing Authority Board. Reappointing Sean Walsh to a member of the Housing Authority Board. We're appointing Joan Madden to the Senior Citizen Advisory Committee. She's a new appointment. Reappoint Tom Warren to the Orangetown Planning Board. Reappoint Tom Warren as the chairman for the Orangetown Planning Board. Reappoint Bruce Bond to the alternate member on the Planning Board. Reappoint Charles Rossetti to the Orangetown Sanitation Commission. Reappoint Billy Valentine as an alternate member to the Orangetown ZBA. Reappoint Daniel Sullivan to a member of the Orangetown ZBA. reappoint Dan Sullivan as the chairman of the Orangetown ZBA. And then we get to setting a public hearing date on the proposed amendment to the town code regarding accessory structures. So just remind me, Rob, this is both the wall and the shed?
Right. The way it's been proposed is the 144 square foot shed, and then nothing on the wall in terms of height, but pursuant to public hearing, and comments we get back, the board can set that at 2 feet, 3 feet, 4, whatever, it decides to do. But that's the way it's been drafted, so.
So, wait a minute, let me,
It's been drafted similar to the way the state code reads.
so basically, it's only if it's basically doing
Supports
surcharge or whatever.
surcharge.
Okay.
Right. And nothing about the height. Right now, we have a 2-foot height.
Okay, so right now it says anything over 2 feet, you need it.
Right.
I support a height of some description.
Okay. If the board supports that, I can add that to what gets circulated.
Didn't we say today? I don't know, 3, 4, 3? We
42 inches, 3.5?
Split the difference.
Well, Jane,
Okay, well,
Jane wants to weigh in on it.
yeah, Jane, you wanna? You say 4? Right, right.
Good evening.
Good
Yeah, I
evening.
did some additional research, and there are many examples of codes that have it 3 feet or 4 feet and above needs a building permit if it's retaining something. If it's not retaining anything, we see that as a garden wall. So some people have, say, a patio in the backyard, and they'll have a 2 or 3 foot high masonry wall around their patio that's decorative. If that's not retaining anything, it's not structural. So anything that's actually retaining, holding back earth is considered structural. So I found both 3 feet and 4 feet as guidelines, and I do have some examples of that I can share with the board.
Okay, so to make sure, I'm gonna make sure I understand this. So, right now, no matter what the height, if it's a retaining wall, surcharge, whatever, it's structural and they need it, no matter if it's 2, 3 feet.
Well, over 2 feet.
Okay,
If it's only 2 feet, it's not
Yeah, it can't
considered
really- right.
structural.
Right.
However, it can become an issue if someone builds even a 2-foot high retaining wall and it redirects water and is then flooding someone's property. But as you get higher in height, there's different requirements to reinforce the wall.
right, I don't imagine.
Tiebacks, grids, everything, drainage. So what happens if the drainage isn't installed properly in a retaining wall? You'll get water build up behind it, and it'll start to blow the wall out. So those are things to consider. But like I said, I do have a few examples that I can
Okay.
share with the board before the next hearing.
Okay, I think, okay.
Well, as far as distributing it, do
You
you
go
want to
before?
pick a number now and then?
I think 4 seems to be at least from this side of the room, 4 seems to be the,
Okay, and again, if after it's
this side, I
distributed,
don't
and
know.
if, you want to weigh in and
Yeah,
at the
okay,
public
so,
hearing, you can
so,
decide.
yeah, well,
Okay.
okay, okay. Thank you. Okay, so the next one is declare intention of the town board to serve as lead agency with regard to that local law. Oh, okay. You just want me to add this person, is that what you're telling me, when we get there? Parks and Rec, I'm just adding, okay. Okay, that's all, right. Okay. Yeah, I guess we could do it afterwards, right? Yeah. Okay. Next is approval of the certificate of sewer registration. Number 26, we have a settled claim of Emily Hingle. We had, her car was banged into. I'll leave it at that. 27, approve the change order for the Blue Hill Golf Course. I know this is, a bunch of emails were back and forth about the bunker project. Accept the resignation retirement of Detective Matthew Ryder, effective February 26th. Number 26, appoint David Majewski to the fire inspector. And then the vouchers. Okay. Okay, so I guess we will, can I get a motion to open the public comment? Dennis Troy moved. Jerry Bottari, second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, Susan Nemisty.
I know you said you didn't want to hear about this, but
You can hear about it, I'm just not going to talk about it anymore.
Supervisor Kenny, thank you for being the first town supervisor to finally take action and speak out about the decades-long dereliction at High Tor Animal Shelter. I've been an avid supporter of the shelter for over 20 years, adopted several dogs, and delivered donations from our community weekly in support of the animals. But I'm also very much aware of the current board's negligence and complaints by employees, volunteers, and visitors. The current board president, Debbie DiBernardo, fires or bans anyone who dares speak up, banning volunteers who devote hours cleaning cages, caring for animals, and walking dogs. What kind of nonprofit director does that? Her flippant attitude on High Tor being fine without Orangetown's nearly $40,000 a year contribution is a perfect example of why she and the entire board is unfit. I agree 100% with the action you have taken to withdraw town support until the complete removal and reorganization of that current board. Ed Day's continuous denial of High Tor's failings, inaction in constructing the new shelter, and his comments regarding your actions are shameful. I hope you and the other town supervisors continue putting pressure on High Tor board for the sake of the animals who have no voice in this. The Hudson Valley Animal Shelter is a temporary solution, and in the long run, we need a well-run animal care facility for our homeless animals. Several years ago, when Chris Day was supervisor, I suggested that a beautiful shelter could be built at the Rockland Psych Center. I'm just putting that out there again, just in case. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Barbara Meyer. Is he saying they've come off?
Today, as I was getting my dogs relicensed, and I was here in the clerk's office, I thought, gosh, if my dogs were gone, where would they go? My dogs have been wanderers. Would I want them at High Tor? And the answer is no. Oftentimes, I've called High Tor to get information, to see about a lost animal, and they have been very flippant. They haven't been helpful. So again, I want to say that, many of us in the community support what you have done. We are furious about what's going on Facebook and social media. We want to support what our town is doing, and we are working alongside of you. And it's important because we have to look at the future. In 20 years from now, if we do nothing, the place will fall apart, the land will be sold around it, and the animals who can't speak will just be left to rot. So again, whatever we can do as citizens to help support our town planning board, we will do. And let us know so we can do the social media stuff in retaliation to what's been going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, does anybody else want to speak? Don't see anybody else? Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, can I get a motion to close? Tom Divany, second. Paul Valentine, all in favor? Aye. Okay, so Jerry, you gave me this note, and I'm completely confused.
Taking 3 people.
Are you taking these people off that are here? Okay.
That was the recommendation of the committee. They haven't been there,
Okay, so
and James wanted.
okay, so I'm going to suggest we just pull this whole thing off for tonight, because I don't know what. Just take off, okay, so I'm taking off Kimball Parker, James Castagna, and Aranda Olenche, how do you say that? And I'm adding Tara Heidger. Okay, and we are looking for a new chairperson, okay. So, okay, so wait, and Anne Marie's not the chairperson anymore, we're gonna take her off for now.
Well, I guess she will be till the next meeting, but no, she's
Okay, she'll submit something to me.
on, so they'll have to vote on another chairperson.
Okay, so we have a motion to amend
From Jerry and us.
from Jerry, okay.
Excuse me, Teresa, before you do, can you just
Yeah,
say that again?
okay, so I'll just read down. You have Anne Marie Yule, Ann Byrne, Watson Morgan, then we're removing Kimball Parker, then we have Mickey Leader, then we're removing the next two, which is Aranda and James. And then the rest stay on, and then we're adding Tara Heidger. I'm going to spell her name, Heidger. Okay, so Dennis moved to amend it and Jerry seconded?
Jerry amended.
Oh, Jerry amended? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have to vote on it again? Or just the amendment? That was the
We didn't
amendment, now we
vote on
vote
it.
again? Okay. Now we get can I get a motion to approve it? Go to this side here. Okay, Tom Divany, second Paul Valentine. All, aye. Okay, reappoint the Orangetown Shade Tree Commission. Can I get a motion? We'll do Jerry. Jerry Batari, move it. Dennis Troy, second. All in favor? Aye. Reappoint the Substance Abuse Committee for a one-year term. Making a motion? This side, Paul Valentine, move.
Second.
Tom Divany, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Reappoint the Orangetown Project Review Committee for a one-year term. Dennis Troy, move. Jerry Batari, second. All in favor? Aye. Reappoint Shirley Goebel Christie to a member of the Orangetown ACABOR for a three-year term.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Paul Valentine, second Tom Divany. All in favor?
Aye.
Reappoint Sharon Burke to a member of the Orangetown ACABOR. Okay, Dennis Troy moved. Jerry Batari, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Reappoint Brian Atchison to a member of ACABOR for a three-year term. Tom Divany, move it.
Move.
Paul Valentine, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Reappoint Margaret Rasso to a member of the Orangetown Historic Areas Board of Review for a five-year term. Jerry Batari moved it. Dennis Troy, second. All in favor? Aye. Reappoint Margaret Rasso as chairman of the Historic Areas Board of Review. Tom Divany moved. Paul Valentine, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Reappoint Jack O'Connor, and a member of and chairperson of the Orangetown Housing Authority Board for a five-year term. Dennis Troy, move. Jerry Batari, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Appoint Dominic Philippone to a member of the Orangetown Housing Authority Board for a five-year term. Paul Valentine, move. Tom Divany, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Reappoint Sean Walsh to the member of the Orangetown Housing Authority Board for a five-year term. Jerry Batari, move. Dennis Troy, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Appoint Joe Madden to the Senior Citizen Advisory Committee for a one-year term.
Move.
Tom Divany, move. Paul Valentine, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Reappoint Tom Warren to a member of the Orangetown Planning Board for a seven-year term. Jerry Batari, move.
I'll second.
Dennis Troy, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Reappoint Tom Warren to the chairman of the Orangetown Planning Board for a one-year term. Paul Valentine, move. Tom Divany, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Reappoint Bruce Bonds as an alternate member of the Orangetown Planning Board for a one-year term. Dennis Troy, move. Jerry Batari, second. All in favor? Reappoint Charles Vizzetti to a chairman of the Orangetown Sanitation Commission for a one-year term. Tom Divany, moved. Second. Paul Valentine, all in favor? Aye. Reappoint Billy Valentine as an alternate member of the Orangetown Zoning Board of Appeals for a one-year term. Jerry Batari. We need to do a roll call, shouldn't we?
No, I think Paul's abstaining, right, Paul?
Right, that's what I just, okay. I just didn't know, okay, so, you seconded?
I'm second.
Okay. Dennis Troy, second, and then just do a roll call so he can abstain on the record.
Councilman Dennis Troy,
Yes.
Councilman Tom Divany,
Yes.
Councilman Jerry Batari,
Yes.
Councilman Paul Valentine,
I abstain.
and Supervisor Teresa.
Yes. Okay, reappoint Dan Sullivan to a member of the Orangetown Zoning Board of Appeals for a five-year term. Tom Divany, second. Paul Valentine, all in favor? Aye. Reappoint Dan Sullivan to the chairman of the Orangetown Zoning Board of Appeals for a one-year term. Dennis Troy, second. Jerry Batari, all in favor? Aye. Okay, set a public hearing on a proposed amendment to Chapter 43 of the Town Code regarding accessory structures. So we're setting it for April 13th at 7:05. Okay, Paul Valentine, move it. Tom Divany, second. All in favor? Aye. Declaration of intention of the town board to serve as the lead agency pursuant to SECRA with regard to the local law, Chapter 43, accessory structures. Where am I on this side, right? Jerry Batari. Dennis Troy, all in favor? Approval of 2021 certificate of sewer registration for first-rate landscaping and construction. A motion? Paul Valentine made the motion, Tom Divany second. All in favor? Settle a claim of Emily Hingle for the amount of $980.64. Can I get a motion? Okay. Dennis Troy, second. Jerry Batari, all in favor? We need to get Jerry a little flag or something. I can't really see him down there. Okay, approve a change order for the Blue Hill Golf Course bunker project. Okay, Paul Valentine. You want to second it? I don't want to put words in your mouth. All in favor? Aye. Accept the resignation, retirement of Detective Matthew Ryder, effective February 26, 2021. Jerry Batari moved it.
Jerry just moved it. You gonna talk?
Jer-
Matt Ryder came over from Nyack when we merged with Nyack. He worked up in Nyack for a while, came in, went to the bureau down here. He's worked on the drug task force for the county as well as the joint task force. He's always been a good police officer, a hard worker. He's a tough one to replace and lose. However, he'll be going to the DA's office, and he'll still be helping us here in the town.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay. Dennis Troy seconded. All in favor? Aye. Appoint David Majewski to the position of fire inspector, effective February 24, 2021. Tom Divany move. Paul Valentine second. All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Okay, tonight's audit consists of 3 warrants for $960,000. The first warrant had 62 vouchers for $196,000. Items of interest, Global Mantello, $15,000 for fuel. Number 2, Jory Excavating, $105,000 for the Route 340 sidewalk project. That's bonded money. Number 4, She International, $24,000 for software contracts. Number 5, Sprague Operating Resources, $15,000 for fuel. The second warrant had 27 vouchers for $119,000 and was for utilities. The third warrant had 139 vouchers for $644,000. Items of interest, 1 and 2, the applied golf contracts. Number 3, Atlantic Salt, $54,000 for highway salt. Number 5, Capasso, $68,000 for recycling. Number 10, Helmke Industries, $37,000 for OHA snow removal. Number 11, JP Morgan Equipment Finance, $53,000 for the energy performance bond. Number 16, Traffic Logics, $25,000 for radar speed signs. And number 17, Van Bordo Chevrolet, $73,000 for pickup trucks. That's bonded money. Any questions on the audit?
Yeah, can you tell me where the radar speed signs are, so I know?
Well, those, I mean, that would be better for the chief or the, or where they are.
Because for our viewing audience, they might want to know exactly where they are.
Okay. Any other questions on the audit?
The one thing I would ask, on the salt, where we at in terms of salt? This has been some crazy winter. I know Jimmy Dean is here. Maybe it's out of order, but
Yeah, Jim would be better to answer that question.
Used a lot.
Don't worry. Actually, we're spent out about 62% of our budget. So we still have a third of the budget left. It stops snowing now, we'll be fine. If not, we're not gonna run out of money. If it gets close, I'll be letting you know. And there is money in our surplus that would cover that. So we're not fighting snow by the budget, we're fighting snow by what happens. Fortunately, we've been able to keep up with it, and our workers are doing a great job.
they are.
But who knows what's going to happen in the next 3 weeks? So, but I wouldn't worry. We're not concerned about dollars. There are dollars there. As I've said before, when we build our budget, we build it for a moderate winter. And we're just about 3 weeks away from a moderate winter. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
We can hope.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay,
Jeff,
Okay.
thank you. I have no questions on it.
okay. So, motion to close the audit? We do this every week. To accept the audit, whatever you want, whatever word you want. Paul did whatever we're doing, accept it or approving it.
I make a motion to accept the order.
Okay. You second it, Tom?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I have a mental block when it comes to that, I'm not really sure why, but anyway. Okay, we are going to be going to an executive session, we will not be coming out and voting on anything. We're going in to discuss the proposed acquisition, sale, lease of real property when publicity might affect the value. We do have one adjournment, it's in memory of Barbara Murphy, she's a resident of Pearl River and the mother-in-law to Orangetown employee Kate Murphy. So,
And I'd like to add Pat Lenahan from Pearl River. He was a lieutenant on the NYPD, used to run Yankee Stadium. Great guy, he's going to be missed.
how old was he, John, do you know?
73 years old.
His son lives in Pearl River.
Okay, I know the name is familiar, that's why I'm,
He did, until he was sick.
okay. Okay, so can I get a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make that, that's fine.
Okay, so Dennis Troy made the motion, second? Tom Divany, all in favor?
Aye.
Do we have to, is that good? I need a little instruction sheet when it comes to that stuff.